A few months back, I released a video with some observations and critical feedback to the Beyond Skyrim team on their release strategy. That video received a lot of comments from all of you. It showed that all of you are passionate about the work being done by the team and are excited about these projects. Also, thanks to the Beyond Skyrim developers who answered questions in the comment section and also responded to the video. You guys rock! In this video, we go over some important questions and answers in the Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil Reddit Ask Me Anything thread. I will also share my thoughts on each of them and you guys can add your comments as well. And guys, let's all be respectful to the amazing devs who are working hard and persisting in this crazy multi-year project to create the best version of 4th era Cyrodiil for all of us to enjoy sometime later in this decade. So without further ado, let's get started in this discussion. To start this, let's go over some joyful and supportive comments by Your Song Is Ending. They say, just wanted to say this, groups like yours are amazing and we are lucky to have such a creative modding community and thanks for all of your hard work so far. And then the Beyond Skyrim team replies, thank you, passion and love is what we run on. Sabino Plain says, I don't have any questions, I just want to tell you that all what you do is amazing and to not be discouraged even if some people are cynical about boo-hoo, this is never going to come out or whatever else. Every little sneak peek I see of your work not only makes me excited to play it but also inspires me to keep playing Skyrim. At this point, I am legitimately more excited for all of these mods than Elder Scrolls 6. And we get a reply, thank you so much. Cynical comments are understandable but yes, they hurt sometimes. And thank you for the kind words. So that's how I feel about Elder Scrolls 6 too. I will say this with a lot of conviction. I believe that modded Skyrim in 2025 will offer superior gameplay systems and role-playing experience compared to Bethesda's Elder Scrolls 6. That is for sure. I have no doubts about that. This includes modding projects like Beyond Skyrim, which also will offer more because the modders in the Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil team are a group of passionate Elder Scrolls fans working together to create a real Elder Scrolls gaming experience. There will always be exceptions, of course, but anything delivered out of passion will always be better than something that comes out of a corporation. I love these messages of support, and the Cyrodiil team needs more of these. Toxic Taliban 111 says, I have two questions. The dev diaries mentioned wanting to highlight the differences between the Colovian and Nibonese more than what Oblivion did. What are some of the ways the team are doing that? Cyrodiil has also undergone a lot of conceptual changes over the franchise's lifespan. How much has the team drawn aesthetic inspiration from older sources such as Kirkbride's illustrations from Pocket Guide to the Empire? So the dev says, plenty of ways to differentiate between the Colovian and the Nibonese. You have different food, you have different dialects in certain places, different clutter. Some differences are highlighted in certain quests, and the main Seat of Sundered King's questline will deal quite a lot with the cultural differences. There are also a few newspapers appearing that have quite radically different approaches to journalism based on cultural norms. A lot of us are fans of the more esoteric takes on the Elder Scrolls. However, I'd say the project does a good job of marrying Oblivion's take with the old Pocket Guide to the Empire, Kirkbride style. So rice paddies and hierophants are back in some degree, among other things. We've also talked about throwing in a few Easter eggs referencing the real obscure stuff. Cyrodiil was described as a jungle back in the Pocket Guide to Empire 1st edition, right? Michael Kirkbride said this, the heart of the province being what you think of when you think of a traditional jungle, tumbling down to the fields of large rice paddies that fed the empire, guarded by Romanesque troops and dragons everywhere. The Imperial city was to be vast, rolling across wetlands and swamps, with large sections lost and overgrown, full of too many cults to count, and the oldest temples having obviously been around since the Merethic. Then Todd watched the Fellowship of the Ring and mistakes were made. Wow, reading about Kirkbride's vision just blows my mind. Just imagine if we would have got this instead of the boring generic European fantasy of Oblivion. Michael Kirkbride did say the following in his own Reddit AMA. I would change Cyrodiil's depiction in Oblivion. While I finally ended up enjoying the game several years after its release, neither the tech or the development of Cyrodiil was capable of pulling off what the Empire really deserved. Wow. Kirkbride definitely had a unique vision for Cyrodiil and the Imperial city. But anyway, even if the Beyond Skyrim team can add few elements of Kirkbride's vision of Cyrodiil, I think we are in for a treat. Rice paddies and hero fans are awesome. We then have a question on a new town not seen in Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, Mirkorup. If we read some books when playing Morrowind, such as The Last Year of the First Era, we read about a resort town called Mirkorup, known for its hot springs. Apparently, this town was a prominent resort for nobles in the Second Era, and the settlement and the hot springs were absent in Oblivion. The good news is that the Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil team is adding it to the game. Zealous Ideal Tap asks a question. Hello, if you don't mind, I have few questions about the city of Mirkorup. Will the city be closer in size to the main cities like Anvil, Skingrad, or be more like such? How many residents are planned for it? Will there be mud or hot springs? A developer responds, it will be a smaller city, however, it was larger in its past when that will be reflected in the design of it. There will definitely be the hot springs as they have made the Valus region somewhat volcanic, similar to Eastmarsh. Mirkorup is in the Valus world space that we had to cut off for technical reasons. Another developer adds a comment about Mirkorup. For the Valus region, we have slightly ignored what Oblivion did as it's effectively dead space with nothing going on, so we have lore for the region at the time of the crisis. Mirkorup is a resort town and basically got cut off from the rest of Cyrodiil in the chaos and never really recovered. With the instability of the 4th era, it never got much of its clientele back, leading to those who still had money to leave over time. It was also a hotbed of anti-Mede sentiment, which ended in a brutal campaign by Titus I to stop a rebellion there. This plus the Great War caused a further decline, making Mirkorup and the surrounding area a quite poor and destitute part of Cyrodiil with common bandit attacks and little rule of law. So, Mirkorup is a resort town with Eastmarsh-style volcanic hot springs. That sounds amazing. A great idea to differentiate the Valus region of Cyrodiil from other biomes. Okay, next big one. What are the major questlines and factions for Cyrodiil? So the team replies, Cyrodiil has a fighters guild, a thieves guild, 2 rival mages guild known as the Synod and the College of Whispers. The Knights of the Nine also have a major presence, and you may be able to join the Resistance, a group dedicated to driving the Almeri Dominion out of Cyrodiil. Possibly the most major questline though is the Seat of Sundered Kings, where you try to support one of the 5 noble families in taking Cyrodiil's imperial throne after Titus Mede is gone. Awesome. Factions always excite me, and we get to see a 4th era fighters guild for the first time after Bethesda did not include them in Skyrim. So warrior characters can make a beeline to them at the start. Stealthy types will gravitate towards the Thieves Guild, and you have 2 factions for mages, the Synod and the College of Whispers. There is lore which states that at some point prior to 4E48, the Mages Guild got dissolved. Following the dissolution, the Synod and the College of Whispers emerged as 2 imperially recognized magical organizations. Sadly, we did not get to see them in the Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim. Being set in 4E200, one would have assumed we would have had a Skyrim chapter of these 2 organizations. Faralda from the College of Winterhold mentions that the college is neutral when it came to relations with the Synod and the College of Whisper. Let's listen.
It is no secret that both the Synod and the College of Whispers have recently made inquiries as to the status of our college here in Winterhold. At this time, there is no indication that either group is aware of the other's correspondence. The College of Winterhold has thus far declined requests for direct meetings. This has been at the specific request of Archmage Auron. Auron believed that although the initial communications were innocent enough, they were sent with a particular motive in mind. The Synod's harsh rules and draconian structure are maintained only by suppressing any opposition to their council's policies. It is entirely possible that they look to our college here in Winterhold in order to find supporters for their organization. Likewise, the College of Whispers has long been driven by its desire to directly oppose the Synod. They focus on research banned by the Synod, such as conjuration and necromancy. The College of Whispers hopes to learn that our college also supports these avenues of research. Thus, they may claim that the Synod is indeed a political minority in the Empire, and should be treated as such. Our actual position and policies are irrelevant. No matter the facts of the response, it will certainly be twisted to suit the whims of either group. Indeed, it has been jokingly suggested that we send the exact same response to both, which each will warp into support for their side. At present, these two groups do little beyond attempting to gain the attention and favor of the Emperor. They appear to have little interest in real study and research for the sake of gaining knowledge. Archmage Auron believes that their conflict poses a significant threat to the autonomy of our college, and I concur. Falling in with either would threaten to draw much unwanted attention to our college. If either group goes through less official channels and attempt to contact you directly, please refer them to the college's Master Wizard. Say as little as possible so as to avoid compromising our neutral position.
Apart from this lecture by Faralda, there is no in-game book which talks about the dissolution of the Mages Guild and the establishment of these two organizations. The only source is a novel by Greg Keyes. This is one of my biggest issues with Skyrim. We never get to know more about the world of the 4th era Tamriel via interesting books or dialogue. Most books were recycled from Morrowind. Heck, to be honest, I thought the College of Winterhold was the Mages Guild for many years until I read about its dissolution. Anyway, the Beyond Skyrim team did confirm that your character either joins the Synod or the College of Whispers. This is fantastic for roleplay and multiple playthroughs. We also learn that unlike the Synod, the college is open to the study of all magical arts, including necromancy and conjuration, which has led to the accusation that they are a rogue organization. I like the dynamic here. You can either be a rogue mage and join the college, or you could be part of the establishment and join the Synod. The Knights of the Nine as a faction was present in Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, an order devoted to recovering the relics of Pelinal Whitestrake. Originally, they were founded with the goal to find and protect the Crusaders' relics. I thought they had served their purpose back, and once Umaril's threat was done, they were disbanded. Interesting that the writers of Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil feel they are relevant even in the 4th era. Although, when we read about them on the website, we get a clear idea. It says, The Knights of the Nine is a linear main quest with a focus on narrative storytelling. It chronicles the return of the knighthood to defend Cyrodiil's people against the Aelid threat. The journey begins as a number of villages in Cyrodiil are attacked and destroyed. So they revived the order to defend against this new Aelid threat. Very cool. Lastly, we have the Resistance. I like the name of this, the Resistance. I guess this faction would be more suitable for a stealthy or assassin type characters. So you can join them and work on espionage or assassination missions against the Thalmor. So we have 6 confirmed faction quest lines and 1 main quest. So that is more questing and story content than what we got with Skyrim, I think. And of course, this is different to how Tamriel Rebuilt and Project Tamriel handles faction quest lines. In those mods, every town or city has a mages or a fighters or a thieves guild with their own quest line. The Beyond Skyrim team are following the Skyrim model, where we have one faction headquarters for the entire province in a specific city. But I'm more than happy with the guild choices here. They all sound very interesting to me. But my only appeal to the Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil team is to not include soulless Radiant quests as part of any faction questline. Please, 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 let all faction quests be handcrafted and let faction-based Radiant quests be optional. Don't mingle them with handcrafted faction content. This was my biggest issue playing Skyrim's Thieves Guild or the Dawn Guard questline. I hope the Cyrodiil team does not take the same approach. We have more questions about the Synod and the College of Whispers. Quake006 asks, does the College of Whispers have roughly equal amount of cynosures through the Synod's guild halls? Dev replies, that's an identical number with 1 in each county, though the Synod halls are all located in the old Mages Guild buildings and cities, while the cynosures are more remote and often in places of great magical power or historical importance. The Arcane University is neutral ground as it's administered by either third party. Okay, so this makes me think, if the Arcane University is a different organization, we should definitely have an Arcane University questline too. Maybe the Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil team can work on a DLC which will release that questline. So possibilities are endless, you know. We have another question on magic. Tink Inc. asks, will there be more spells for each school of magic, and if so, how many per school? Also, will the College of Whispers and the Synod have their own different spells? Finally, will we be able to make Frostcrack Spire as a player home, just like in Oblivion? So the dev replies, hey, thanks a lot. We are planning to add a lot of new spells. The count is not quite something we're looking at. More like what makes sense and what's missing for the kind of gameplay we want to create. We have added wind, fire, water and earth spells under the alteration school, and we also expanded the sun spells and the poison spells in restoration. But also lots of other standalone spells. The dev also adds Frostcrag Spire is the base of the College of Whispers, and you can already visit it in our pre-release Bruma right now. Okay, I haven't played Beyond Skyrim Bruma, and that is something I need to do soon. Once the Somerset Islands series is done, we will have a Bruma series on the channel. Very happy that they're adding new spells. Offensive alteration and offensive restoration spells are fantastic. Okay, we have a question on the Resistance faction. Sprilly asks a question. Is the Resistance a separate questline? Can we save Adius Villius if he was imprisoned? Can we remove Thalmor from Cyrodiil entirely? Can people who have not given up their faith in Talos be found elsewhere in the Promise as well, besides Bruma? Okay, the dev responds, the Resistance questline hasn't been a priority for long and we don't have a detailed plan for it yet. Current plans might be scaled down in the future. Similarly, it's not finally decided what happens concerning ADS. Although some on the team feel like there may be consequences you have to live with. You won't be able to fully remove the Thalmor from Cyrodiil. And there are definitely more people who are worshipping the Talos spread throughout Cyrodiil. There's another answer by a dev which talks about ADS, the voice actor's availability is still a question, so they're not sure yet. So from what I gather, the Resistance faction is still in the writing stage. So at this point, we're not sure if it may be a full-fledged faction questline or a mini faction like the Bard's College in Skyrim. If we take a look at these two questions and answers, we won't have a Vampire faction questline, nor will we have a Dark Brotherhood questline. So that's also confirmed. Queasy Carrot asks the question, will the Beyond Skyrim projects be compatible with SE Skyrim 1.5.97? So the devs respond saying currently AE is not needed. There are no plans to change that at this point of time. There was a file format change in December 2023 which breaks back compatibility, but the old format is still forward compatible. This is why we're working on the old version to be compatible with both the old and the new format. It's a little painful to set up all the older tools, but we're going forward with that to ensure full compatibility. Okay, great. So there are many of us who won't ever buy the Zero Effort Anniversary Edition money grab from Bethesda. I totally appreciate supporting 1.5.97, but I would be fine if they even supported 1.6.640 as well. Thank you so much team, and kudos for supporting old SE versions too. So Verum Fan asks a very interesting question on Daedric quests. The team responds saying that there will indeed be new Daedric quests with artifacts for good doom-driven heroes who deserve them. We can't promise a dedicated side quest for every Daedric prince though. These Daedric questlines are extremely important in any Elder Scrolls game, and the concept of moral ambiguity and sheer evil that we can see in some of these well-written quests is such a breath of fresh air from the trivial matters of the guilds. They also help in role-playing, as a character can choose few quests for each playthrough. I hope the team tries to include as many as possible. I also hope the team does not reuse the same Daedric artifacts from Skyrim. I hope every Daedric quest gives us a unique and new artifact as reward. Lastly, I hope the player has a choice for role-playing and does not have to be obligated to work for a specific Daedric prince, even if they stumble onto a shrine. Yoga84 asks a question, are you planning to stick with the Skyrim style of fame recognition? Like becoming a Thane, getting some property, or receiving a weapon from the account's armory? So we have answers from two developers. There's no direct equivalent to the Thane title in Cyrillic cities. That makes sense. But the buyable player home might still be locked behind some quests before you can buy it. Okay? And second developer says, as far as I'm aware, we're following Skyrim's lead rather than a trackable stat or anything. You'll get similar benefits, albeit with different titles to Thane or whatever. No trackable reputation stat is disappointing. I wish the Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil team will reconsider. I hope to see at least a character screen which shows all the character stat, skill progress data and faction status. The Skyrim team showed us a beautiful character screen. Everything is visible at a single glance. Dear Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil team, please get rid of the constellation screen and don't make us scroll horizontally to look for skill data. To me, not having a character screen is unacceptable in any RPG. On a scale of Skyrim to Fallout New Vegas, how much of an impact will speech checks have? And the dev response, New Vegas is a big inspiration for a lot of our writers. I don't think you'll be able to use a butter skill to take down our main questline's villain, but the number of speech checks is pretty much incalculable at this point. So much closer to New Vegas, if not exceeding it. Fallout New Vegas did an amazing job adding checks for more skills than just speech in conversations. It added to the dynamism of leveling up skills in general and in NPC conversations. I'm still not clear here. Will we have speech checks as part of dialogue? We have never seen such a system in any Elder Scrolls game. This would be the first time. Also devs, if you're watching, would the system be chance-based like in Fallout 3 or will we have absolute numbers as seen in New Vegas? I would love it if the Cyrodiil team showed some of these systems as part of a video. Phil Gas asks, how big is Imperial City? Okay, and the dev response, bloody massive. Imperial City is going to be huge. All cities are open except for the Imperial City for technical reasons, but there are no low doors between districts. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool, man. I heard that, you have all these loading screens between each district in Oblivion. In any case, if anyone's wondering, the performance issues that arise from open cities are overplayed. We did a lot of testing in the Bruma release on open versus closed and we saw no real difference. Special Edition improved even that negligible impact on outdated hardware. I run on a pretty old system and have no frame drops. Fantastic. I'm very happy with open cities and one load screen for the Imperial City. That's perfect. Another dev response, as of right now, all cities but the Imperial City will be open cities to the world. The Imperial City will most likely be closed behind a loading screen due to the sheer size of the city and the population within the city. The Imperial City will be bigger than any other city you have seen so far. In addition to the Imperial City itself, there will also be an expansion to the outskirts as well and the surrounding towns. Okay, another question related to the Imperial City by Sprilly. Was the Temple of the One rebuilt after the Oblivion Crisis? If so, what was done with the Martin statue? The Temple of One was not rebuilt and the statue is still in place. A new temple was built in the Temple District. Okay, that makes sense. Why would they take down such an epic statue of Akatosh? Alright guys, these were some of the hand-picked questions that I wanted to talk about in this episode. Do share your thoughts on these in the comments below. Unlike Skyblivion and Skywind, the Beyond Skyrim teams are creating new lore, new questlines, new stories and new game systems. These projects are extremely challenging and time-consuming. Thank you Cyrodiil devs for hosting this AMA and persisting on this amazing project. The community will send lots of positive energies your way. Hopefully, someday all of us gets to play an Elder Scrolls game created by passion and not profit. Thank you all for watching and may the divines watch over you.